It's so interesting how, like, to me, I think just having that energy, if you approach anybody with that feeling that like they have something to offer, they will kind of like feel that like small seed of inspiration.
Taking genuine interest in other people is the most important thing there is.
And even if they don't even believe it, or they don't, like, they can have so much self-doubt and they don't know,
No,
like,
on this note, this is something I find myself doing all the time. When I meet someone in public, just like this, and I feel this need to approach them for whatever reason, my first question is always, are you an artist? And then I then find myself, if they say no, trying to convince them that they are.
oh yeah,
By digging into
Yeah.
like, I'm sure you do something. Do you
Yeah.
paint?
I
Do
don't
you-
even ask,
like,
are
what
you an
is it? You know,
artist?
like,
I don't even ask, are you an artist? I ask, what is your art? Because I feel like everyone has some type of artistic,
exactly.
yeah, some type of expression.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
And also, sometimes I see a little bit of talent in someone from something, and then I, again, try to convince them they are and might want to try to do this.
But-
And there are two such friends of mine who I'm like, wow, you've got kind of a talent for language or writing. You should try to be an artist. And this is my good friend Kevin Lives, and he became an amazing vocalist and songwriter a year later. But when I asked and approached, he was like, nope. And I was like, try. And man, yeah, and he totally ran with it.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. I think having like people around you actually see something in you and try to uplift you. But I think that there's also a kind of a darker place of when you're on a path and you're not certain where to go. Like, one, the self-doubt is like creeping in, and you kind of like want to do anything, like you just keep distracting yourself, and you think what you're doing is being productive by like, hey, I'm actually just around artists, I'm around people that they're doing the thing, but you're actually just kind of spinning. You're not really doing much to further your education, further your abilities, in a sense. Like, I think, one, being around the people, but I think the more you realize that no one's going to do the hard work for you is where you're going to find the solace and you're to ease your mind that the only person you really can rely on at the end of the day to figure it out is going to be yourself. And like, it's one thing to try to like inspire someone else, like, you can do this, like, I really believe in you, and I do believe in you, Gustavo. I think that you're gonna, like, if you were to really continue you making music, I know you had your self-doubts and stuff like that, and there's only so much I can even do as a teacher, as a mentor, who can try to uplift that out of you, because at the end of the day, you're going back home, you're sitting there with your thoughts, and it's like, okay, what am I going to work on? What can I do for myself? You can be part of other people's projects and try to fulfill certain things for that. But I've noticed in a lot of ways, even musicians that go on tour with other artists, they want to do their own thing too. They want that.
You have to do the work.
Yeah, like, you really do have to do the work that artist did to get to where they got. Like, there is no other way around it other than really having to sit with, what can I do that, what am I good at? What am I not good at? How can I improve what I'm not that good at? So I don't have to rely on other people for that. But when I find someone who actually has something else to offer, I feel like I can meet them in the middle, because I also have worked really hard at what I do, that I have this perspective that I feel can be of value to them.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the kind of energy that I've worked on having and put in a lot of work, where I do feel comfortable if I were to be in a room with anyone, Dua Lipa, or even Travis Scott, or like the most random, like, different genres. I feel like I have something to offer in them. So I think
You've been doing the work, man.
yeah,
Yes.
But I do think that that's kind of what we should do as artists, instead of kind of looking at the, like, oh, I'm just going to make friends with that one person and keep hyping them up, and maybe I'll get in their Instagram and try to work my way up networking that way. Like, I think there's
a shallowness there.
Yeah, you're advocating for a focus on the art as opposed to the image.
the social aspect of it, which
the
we get really
business of
caught
it,
on. Yeah.
You know,
And I think that like I guess to touch on the business side, because you guys apparently I've been doing it professionally, doing music professionally, which is it's something I wouldn't say I've done music professionally for 3 years, because it took me 6 years to believe in myself enough to charge the people I was working for.
Damn.
So, but I still was like, I went from charging $300, and it actually is just as simple as, hey man, I've been working with you for a while, and I'm really trying to do this full time. The next project that we work on, I'm going to charge you $300. Is that cool?
Yeah,
and
you have to increase your price.
Yeah,
because your value is increasing over time.
Even over time, and a year later, I started charging $1,300.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just through like the slow, hey, like just want to see where you're at. Are you cool with this?
Yeah,
and because you don't want to completely scare off your person you just spent a while to cultivate a relationship with.
Yeah, it's always a tricky territory when raising your prices, especially with artists you've been working with.
Mm-hmm.
But, for a long time, my studio charges hourly for a lot of types of things we do. And our earliest clients that were with us the first 2 years, they're quote grandfathered in to our old price when they had it. There are different ways to do it. But so it's there's different formats. There's a lot of ways to do this, but for me, that one it made them feel even more special and made the relationship grow even more, that I didn't charge them more, even when I increased my price with every new oncoming client. And this is something I have to do every 2 years or so. And not to say this is the right or wrong way at all, but that has worked for me. I haven't yet had a client that worked with me years and years ago come back to me, usually, after not seeing them for a long, long time. But if that were to happen, then I would give them a higher price. But if there's a certain regularity to it, and I've known them forever, then they're grandfathered to my old price. It's just that's something I do.
Oh yeah,
and it works. But all new clients, new price, which increases every 2 years or so.
Oh,
sort of happened with us.
He's grandfathered.
Yeah.
Why he still comes to me.
But I started focusing on working with other producers for a good while, about a year, maybe a little more. And then when I came back, I didn't ask for the grandfathered in price.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect it because I felt like you deserved the higher price.
I feel like you deserve the lower price. Way where the relationship matters.
Yeah,
that anything keeping you on the team is key.
Yeah. I think part of it is so. I feel like you wanted to add something.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I think one of the most beautiful things about, to touch back on your point, how music is a language, and you can literally just go with other artists and just create. It doesn't matter. You meet each other the same day, and all of a sudden you can be working on an amazing piece together.
Mm-hmm.
But not only is there that sense of like language, there's also the connection. And so there starts to become like a community of that language. And then through music, we're able to speak to each other in a way that we couldn't with any other like verbal, way. So I think that it's just absolutely important to continue to cultivate it. And when you find people who just genuinely love to make music, it's like you just get each other.
The music makes
right
itself also when you work.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most beautiful thing. It's like when you're having the most fun, you create like some of the best things that you've ever made.